We say yes and amen to that. There's room for everybody, including us. Evan Craft is 27 minutes after 8. This is Life FM on the morning. Wake up with Salo and Bjorn. Been looking forward to this chat this morning. In studio with us is the Chief Executive of Open Home Foundation. No, it's not real estate. We're talking foster care this morning, and we welcome in studio Don Irwin. Good morning, Don.
Good morning.
Okay, Open Home. Let's start with that. What is the Open Home Foundation, and how long have you guys been around?
Okay, well, firstly, we are the Open Home Foundation of New Zealand. There is an Open Home Foundation International. That is not us. So we are a child and family support service, a Christian child and family support service, and we've been around since 1977.
Oh, wow. Long time. Chief, how long have you been at
I've been in Open Home for just clocked over 27 years. Starting at the very bottom, if you like, in the trenches as a social worker.
Yeah.
And in the Wairarapa. And, you know, done lots of things over the years, but have been chief exec since 2017.
Well
That's
done.
awesome. So tell us a little bit about, I know we're talking foster care, but I think for a lot of people, maybe they've got an idea in their head of what that looks like, but maybe it's not totally accurate of how that sort of plays out around the country. So what sort of services does Open Home provide, and what does kind of foster care encompass around New Zealand?
Sure. So I think it's important to say that foster care, we try and avoid foster care, right? Now, I'll explain that as we go. So
Avoid the term? Is that what you mean?
No, sorry. We try to do a lot of work with families to prevent the need for care.
Right, yeah.
Right, okay.
So our services start at the preventative end. So, you know, we love nothing more than to work with a mum or a dad or anybody caring for a young person. We love nothing more to work with them, to help them get along or resolve some parenting issues so that they can carry on and do us out of a job with that family or whānau. Foster care is when, obviously, things have gotten to a point for the young person where safety is required. So we do the whole spectrum, if you like.
Right.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, like, it's important for you to try and preserve the original family as much as possible before having to go into a foster situation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's cool.
And also, we are very keen to look for, if care is required and what we call out of family care, out of natural family care, we're looking for whānau, hapu iwi, you know, or in my case, European, we're looking for aunts, uncles, extended family first before we would, you know, place a young person in a family environment that is unknown and unrelated to them.
Do you work alongside other providers? Is that how you identify the need?
Yes, so we get referrals from community, from mums and dads, aunts, uncles, could be churches, could be police, Plunket, hospitals, right through to Oranga Tamariki and other government departments who are working with children.
Is there enough foster families around in New Zealand?
Sadly, no. Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say would be the reason that that's the case? Do people understand their responsibility as a foster parent? Would that be one of the lack of understanding?
Well, we spend a lot of time training our foster parents, so there's quite the process from a paper-based exercise to training, and of course we are investing a lot in trauma-informed approaches. So we invest a lot in helping the potential or prospective foster parents know what they're in for. Is that your question?
Yeah, I guess so. I also want to talk, because it's a big responsibility. It's a massive responsibility.
It's huge.
So what type of person responds to the call that you guys are putting out there?
Well, I guess in our case, you know, we're a faith-based kaupapa, so we're looking for people who are within the Christian community that want to help. But we're looking for people who have firstly got room in their home and their hearts, you know, for one or two more. Sometimes we need to place siblings, and it's really important wherever possible that siblings are placed together. You know, as you can imagine, coming into care is a pretty would be a very scary thing for a young person. And then we're looking for people who are pretty relaxed in their parenting and also open to new ways of parenting. For example, I was brought up, in the old days of, physical discipline was a feature for me when I was a young person. Now, I wasn't abused, but, we are not looking for that form of discipline.
You're familiar with the wooden spoon.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yes. So we're looking for people that are, because people come to us with all kinds of views on parenting and discipline. So we're looking for people that are prepared to be flexible and take on new approaches around young people with trauma and what they might be presenting on top.
Is it commonly just like a family that will take in? I'm sorry, meaning like a mum and a dad, and they've already got kids, and they bring in another foster child into that situation, or is it a mix of people that don't have children or even single parents? Can a single person foster a child?
Yes,
they can.
Yes.
Cool.
All of the above.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Well, sit tight because we want to ask you more questions around the process of becoming a foster parent. Maybe there's someone listening right now who thinks that's in their heart.
Sure.
And also you talked about the misconceptions. I want you to walk us through that.
Okay.
And then how faith all comes into this whole process as well. So more from Don. In studio is Chief Executive of the Open Home Foundation. We're talking about foster care. We say good morning again and welcome to the show, Don Irwin. We're talking before we left that last bit about 3 minutes ago. You were wanting to talk about the misconceptions around foster care. Can we chat to that?
Sure, we can. So some of the things we hear from people who are considering or have thought about it over the years is, if I become a foster parent, is it forever? And the short answer is absolutely not. We have need for care for young people in an emergency situation. Could be one night, could be 3 nights, could be 5, could be a week, could be on a regular basis. As we were saying in the break there, some families, some parents can cope with parenting if they get regular support. And if I think about my own upbringing, big extended family, often staying with cousins, and the gang, right? So if parents don't have that and they're under pressure, could be a mum or a dad by themselves, then we can help there. Right through to, their longer term care if that's required. But probably important to say, we ask our foster parents at times to do the impossible, and that is, we say, please treat this child or these children like they're your own, love them, but be prepared to give them back.
Yeah.
So, it's the whole gamut, really.
That is so hard, eh? But that's the gift that you're giving, right? When you choose to be a foster parent, right? Is to love someone else's child and to show them love and invite them into your home, however long that may be for, but to treat them just like they were born there.
Correct.
Which is the beautiful thing about it. You're looking for more people, right, to put themselves forward to potentially be foster parents. What does that process kind of look like?
Sure. So it starts off with some paperwork. We want to hear about people's story and a bit about their motivation. We're going to ask questions about their health. Are they up for this? And we're going to talk a whole range of things right through and including, how do you resolve conflict in your whare or in your home? So we try and get a sense of the family, and we do that over a number of face-to-face kind of visits in home. We like to see the home environment, partly because health and safety and staircases and swimming pools and fences and like I live rurally, and I'm not a foster parent, but what would I have to consider at my lifestyle block, right? If I was going to take on a young person.
There's a lot of due diligence that you got to go through.
There's a lot.
Now, you touched on the type of person. I mean, if this is a good time to bring in faith into the whole conversation. So, do they need to be Christian-based to be able to be a part of? Okay, all right.
For Open Home. So we have a our constitution is Christian. So our founders said they believe they had a vision. And here we are today, almost 50 years later. So we are kind of mainstream, if you like, but broad-based across the Christian community.
Excellent. I know you can't go into personal details, but we love hearing about the impact that your organisation has
Yes.
on these young kids and even the foster parents themselves.
Sure.
Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, look, I can. And it's really important to raise that because all the negative stories hit the media, right? And so we have a saying that doing well needs to be listened for because it's not as noisy as doing badly or poorly. And look, every day we're hearing stories of how young people are doing well. We've recently had young people gain awards when leaving high school. We've seen young people reconnect to their hapu and their iwi and go for a visit with their social worker and their foster parents and reconnect with their own whakapapa. You know, those are the little successes that we hope to build on.
That's awesome.
What can people do to maybe, you know, if they're in a situation where they're like, well, we can't really become foster parents right now or at this stage or whatever, is there any other way that they can support or be involved?
Sure. Yeah, look, we have a scheme that we call VIP, very important person, so people can donate, you know, $1, $5, $10, whatever, on a monthly basis or one-off, and that money will go only towards children and their needs. There'll be no salaries, there'll be no overhead,
Yeah.
you know, spent with that resource. And we need people to pray, you know. We need people to pray for our work. We won't be giving out names of children, but we need to be praying for our foster parents because they're the stars of the show. I often say the real work happens, you know, out there doing it with kids. My job's just to facilitate. It's, you know, theirs is the real work.
And you were saying off air before about how closely connected you are to the foster families, right? And whenever, you know, if it's 2 a.m. that they need your help, you'll be there. And just to give people a scope of the organisation, how many people are involved with Open Home?
Sure. Yeah, around about 240, and we have 13 offices around the country from up here in Auckland, Tamaki Makaurau, right down to the west coast of the South Island in Canterbury. And
That's 240 employees, right?
Employees.
Yeah, right.
And foster parents, on top of that, about 300 foster families.
Wow.
And gives you an idea of the need, eh?
Is that the immediate need right now that you just want people to be able to, if they can't foster care, but they can donate? Do they go to your website?
Yes.
Okay, what's that website, Don?
Oh, gosh.
Open Home Foundation?
Google will help you.
www.ohf.org.nz.
Okay. Google Open Home Foundation, you'll find the deets.
And if people are sort of maybe a bit stirred by the conversation or it's brought up something they maybe want to consider about maybe they could become a foster family or be involved in some way, is that the same way they should get in touch with you to start that conversation and process?
Yeah, sure. Or, you know, anywhere in the country you can ring, I know the Auckland number, 634257, and that will go to our contact centre. But if you're in Canterbury or if you're in Bay of Plenty, you can be put through to our local team, and we'll be in touch.
Don, we appreciate you coming in this morning. Bless you and your team.
Thank you, and thanks for having me.
No, you do a fantastic job. And if you have been stirred this morning, maybe you want to Google Open Home Foundation. Chief Executive Don Irwin in studio. This is Life FM.